Very nice. So, how are you doing?
Oh, much better. I
Good.
spent the better part of today puking,
Ugh.
and not necessarily puking up food, but just puking up. It was just spit. It wasn't even like stomach fluid or anything like that. It was just like I kept on getting. I was so nauseous. I had a bad head. I woke up with a bad headache, like a pretty pounding headache at like I don't know, quarter to six this morning. And like I knew something was wrong, and I'm like hoping to shake the headache, and I never shook it. And then I start, you know, getting super hot and then getting, cold, hot, everything like that. And then all of a sudden, before I know it, I was just thrown up in a bowl next to the side of the bed. And
Oh.
that continued to, I woke up around 3 or 3:30 or so, and I still kind of had the headache, but I wasn't really nauseous anymore, and I was going to attempt to eat some food, crackers actually. And I tried, and within a quarter of the first cracker I ate, I threw all of that up. And then a couple of minutes passed, and I felt better. And yeah, feeling like the way I feel now compared to then is a world of difference. But that's just today. And then the best news, I think, for me as like a Chicago sports fan is that I woke up to the news that the Cubs signed Dexter Fowler. So that was pretty cool.
Yes, indeed.
And then I also woke up to the news that the Blackhawks traded for Andrew Ladd. So
Yeah, that's one that I certainly
that's
enjoyed
like,
a lot.
oh, definitely. But that's like, I'm happy about the Fowler thing, but you got like one of the, you know, potentially top players that were going to be available via trade, and you went out and got them. So it's like it's exciting because you're like, I think we've seen. I feel like we've seen like I don't know if we've seen a move like I'm trying to think of moves like, and I know that I'm not talking about free agent. We're talking about trade deadline moves. Like I can't remember anything like this. This is pretty decent sized. I
I
I
was
feel
gonna
it's
say
different than like anything they've ever done.
it's certainly different from what they've done in recent years because of cap limitations, and a lot of the things that they've done over the past couple of years have helped set this move up. Uh, a lot of things that happened in the last offseason, not trading Patrick Sharp and yeah, getting rid of, not re signing Oduya. Uh, Unfortunately, yeah, the defense is starting to slip a little bit. So that's probably the next thing that's going to get addressed. But you ended up getting one of the top players in the Western Conference. You're talking about the captain of the Jets, and before that, the Thrashers. I mean, this guy's not for Blackhawk fans that have that go back before the first Stanley Cup in 2010. This was a really important player, and yeah, a very very good player, and his game has only gotten better. So whether he's a rental, that's fine. But and I think Blackhawk fans are fine with that because, well, what are you getting? You are really, really helping your chances in getting another Stanley Cup and becoming the first team in the post in the new uh, hard cap era, salary cap era, to repeat as champions. And I love the move. I think it's great. It's the kind of move that championship contending teams make that are in the prime and not at the end of their window. I think this is kind of like, unfortunately, the only trade that I can really think of that this reminds me of would be like when Cliff Lee went from Cleveland to Seattle to Texas. And I know he went from Cleveland to Seattle during the offseason, but down to Texas, that was trade deadline move, and I think Texas ended up going to the World Series that year.
Cliff Lee, I've heard that.
I think they
It
could.
feels
I
like
have.
it's been like a decade since I've heard, and I know it hasn't been a decade. It's been like that long. But
Yeah.
I just feel, but talking about, moving people around and, getting back to why something like this, these things can happen is like that. Yeah, you got rid of Sharp and you let Otuya go and you made the moves you made, and if I don't know, like how you got to be used to it.
Yeah.
That's the way it's obviously working. That's the way it's worked pretty much on different levels after every cup they've won. So I mean, we have a few examples now. So it's like it's expected, kinda. I know you don't
Yeah.
want to see some people go, but I don't know. Like it's it's what does every player say, the cliche thing? It's the business, right? It's how it works. It's how they do things. So I don't.
Hmm.
It's it's a great move, though, I think. But
Yeah. I love it. I love the move. I because people want to say, well, Patrick Sharp's an important player. I'm sorry. He's okay. I thought he had a down year last year, and I think showed a lot of weakness in his game. So you basically, as far as I'm concerned, you replaced Sharp with Ladd, and I'll make that trade 100% of the time.
there was just a couple months in between. That's the only.
Yeah,
But that's all. I'm with you. I'll take it. I
and
especially with what they have to deal with in a salary cap versus some other sports is it's tough to do, and there's no it's a hard cap, so there's no wiggle room.
yeah, there's no wiggle room, and there's no TV money, mega TV money that's coming in. I know the NBA is getting a big influx of cash coming in for TV deals. I know Major League Baseball is continuing to get major influxes and infusions of cash due to TV deals and TV rights. So the NHL isn't as lucky to have that, and that's fine. That's just the way that the business is. That's the way that market demand is. But I mean, this is a player that I've definitely been tracking a while, and I remember I was texting between my cousin, who's a much greater hockey fan than I, back over the summer when fans didn't know what was going on with Patrick Kane and a lot of his off ice
Yeah,
allegations. I had texted him, and I knew that because different NHL program radio and programming was they were breaking down the teams during the off season, and they had talked about, well, the Jets have two potential free agents hitting the market in Dustin Byfuglien, or Byfuglien if you are really paying attention to his name, and Andrew Ladd. And a couple of weeks ago, you hear that the Jets end up signing Byfuglien to a really big contract, which I don't particularly understand. But and free not and meaning that Andrew Ladd was either going to be dealt or was just going to walk at the end of the year. And I'd gone back I was just looking back at some text messages, and I had said, would you, given the frame of reference at that time in over the summer, would have traded, Patrick Kane for Andrew Ladd and a draft pick or two, just because I know that Patrick Kane is a tremendous talent, but
at the time
th-
you didn't know what was
yeah,
going to come from anything.
right. Things could have gone really bad really fast, and I didn't want the Blackhawks being, left with the being the odd man out. They're holding the hot potato. I'd rather move on and cut bait and run, and see what you can do with the team, and try to not necessarily salvage, but it would have been a tremendous blow to lose Patrick Kane, and especially to not have anything for him when he would have been worth some value. So I Vlad is somebody that I loved. I loved his game. I'm glad he's back, and it's sad that he had to leave back in 2010. Not many people understood why. I got it. I understood why, because Dale Talon gave stupid contracts to stupid players. Not that Stan Bowman isn't above it, because they're dealing with the fallout of the Brian Bickle contract. So
Like, yeah, if there's too many of them, but you can't fault one here or there.
no,
It's absolutely bound to happen. Bufflin's extension was 5 years and 38 million. So who knows, dude? Whatever.
yeah,
Maybe there's something they don't know that they know that we don't know.
yeah,
Regardless of
yeah.
anything, it's I don't know if I made if I said that before. Anyhow, I think it's been good for the Blackhawks, and just as I say that, they they're they just went down. They just gave up a goal with 151 left in regulation to fall to 2-1 behind Nashville tonight. So who knows? But like we always say, right? It's the regular season.
Yes, it is.
So and now,
Division games I know are important and everything, but
yeah,
yeah,
I understand. You always want to
yeah,
win, but it's like the other. It's like the you're gonna lose.
yeah, you can't win
Better
them all.
lose now than in the playoffs. Like I mean, I don't know. It's not horrible. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Spoken like a true Cubs fan. Anyhow, Matt, how have you been?
I've been doing well. Finally have kind of gotten over the congestion thing that was kind of floating around the workplace, and everyone here is happy and healthy, so we're happy about that. Got to see a movie recently. Hadn't done that in a while.
What's yeah? When you start having kids, but then they get to a certain age and you start going to see the kids' movies
Yeah.
or Star Wars, whatever you want to do.
Do you take the kids to see Star Wars?
Oh yeah, we went on. We actually took them. Pardon me. Christmas Day,
Ooh, very cool.
so they didn't know. Um, so it was
Ah,
like after open the presents, I said that's what we're gonna do.
very cool.
And then for some reason, my son, who was like an insane fan before and couldn't wait for the movie to come out, all of a sudden that morning, I don't want to see it. So that was fun. And then he's starting to come back more around. I don't know what happened though. I have no idea what happened with that. Well,
Did someone spoil it for him?
no, no, I don't know what it was. It was just I don't know. I mean he's a 5-year-old. I don't know how to explain. For as much as your son doesn't make sense to you sometimes,
Yeah.
there's a lot more that happens where you're like, hey dude, whatever. But what movie did you get to see?
We got to see Deadpool for Valentine's Day. I know, such a.
Super jealous.
It was awesome. You'll love it if you get the time to see it.
Oh, it'll happen soon. And the best part about it is a buddy of mine, I did a favor for him, and his return of the favor was giving me a gift card to AMC
Very nice.
for what would be, more than enough for the price of two to go see Deadpool. And,
Very cool.
and that's a theater that I like. We can walk to the theater, so that's pretty awesome. If it were,
That
we
is.
get a nicer night. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it'll happen somewhat soon. But you never know.
Excellent.
You never know. Never know.
Yes, I highly recommend it. It's a very, very fun movie. It's kind of one of those movies that it it needed to be made. I'm glad it got made, and it deserves all of the praise and attention that it's getting for all the good reasons. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and it's just fun. It's just fun movie. That's really it.
I am look.
So
Oh,
lots of action, lots of other
yeah,
lots of
yeah. We don't want to do any spoilers, although people probably know all this because people have seen this movie, right? Because we're like, we haven't seen it, but I still haven't seen it. But who knows? Maybe this weekend.
excellent. When you do see it, be sure to stay after the
I
credits.
have I've done my research on that because they even have like the AMC app. It's actually awesome. You can buy your tickets on it and everything, and choose your seats and everything because the theater by me has recently been remodeled to the all recliners, which is like awesome.
Nice.
So, but